that we have to carry out in order to save lost souls. All the while, we're seeing that those in the world are successful. They're gaining all of the riches. They have all of the fancy cars and the big houses. They're successful. They have wealth coming from all over and everywhere. They don't know God. They don't come to church. They don't even pray. But yet and still they're blessed in our eyesight. It seems that we are poor and disenfranchised at times. We do all the things that we're supposed to do to ensure our salvation. But yet and still we find ourselves like Brother Jeremiah this morning. We're persecuted. We're rebuked. We're beaten up, mistreated, cursed out, and abused. But like Jeremiah, we must really analyze the many acts of God in our lives. I just believe that we ought to declare, like the songwriter, when I look back over my life and I think things over, I can truly say that I've been blessed. Why? Because I got a testimony. I got a testimony of how God has seen me through danger seen and unseen. I've got a testimony of how good God has been in my life. I got a testimony of how God put food on my table, how God healed my body, how God freed me when I was in captivity. A testimony. God has given us a testimony this morning, people of God. Are you excited about it? Somebody ought to just give God some praise. Amen. A testimony, how good God is. Let me share something with you dealing with this word testimony. Sometimes the enemy will make you think that that testimony is getting old. You said that one already. But the enemy is trying to discourage you. Bible says we are overcomers because of our testimony. Every time you stand up and you declare how good God is, where God has brought you from, you're stepping on the enemy's head. So don't you ever get to the point where you feel like your testimony has lost some of its zeal or some of its power. God gives you a testimony for you to use it. Here in our text this morning, we find that Brother Jeremiah has come to his senses. He has rethought his position on doing the Lord's work. God tells Jeremiah to go down to the potter's house, and there I will cause you to hear my words. He makes his way down to the potter's house, where he finds that the potter is hard at work fashioning a vessel on his wheels. The Bible says he wrought a work on the wheel, and the vessel that he made of clay was marred in the hands of the potter. You must understand the significance of this text as it relates to our lives on today. One must first note, in order to get the finished product of a smooth and well-formed and well-crafted and beautiful vessel that the potter can use, it takes some sweat, takes some sacrifice, and it takes some hard work. One, he must go down to the potter's pit and retrieve the myrrh clay from the pit. Tell you how a potter designs a vessel. Then he takes the semi-dry clay, and after adding a little water to it, he places that clay on the wheel. He begins to form the clay into what it is that he desires to make. Because of the force that the wheel is spinning, the clay dries out at times. So the potter must continually add water so he can shape this vessel into this beautiful work of art. Sometimes the clay will try to slide off the wheel, but the potter, with his hands on it, protects the clay from falling off the wheel. While on the wheel, the potter has to break the will of the clay. Because see, this clay wants to do what it wants to do. So the potter has to break the will of this clay. The potter starts by applying his hard hands and forcefulness in order to bend the clay and get it in the right position where he can use it. Gently stroking the clay so that he smooths out all of the rough spots, all of the burrs, all of the cracks, all of the things that'll make this vessel unusable. Then he begins to create the heart of the vessel. People don't really understand that the smoothness, the consistency, and the space on the inside of the vessel is just as important as the outside. Lastly, the vessel is formed, but yet and still is weak. It's delicate. It's not ready to be handled by the people of the world. So the potter goes over to the oven and he sets that oven to about 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Somebody say, why so hot? The heat purifies the vessel. The heat strengthens the vessel so that when it comes out of the oven, that weak vessel that it used to be is now a strong vessel at the potter's house. You may be wondering, I start thinking about the times when I turned my back on God so he can use me anyway. The verse says, the clay was marred in the hands of the potter. So he made it again. Whatever you're going through, so he'll make it again. Whatever you had to walk away from, so he'll give you better. Whoever walked away from you, so he'll give you better. Somebody ought to give God some praise.
Thank you for joining us. It's been a real pleasure having you with us this week. We hope you've enjoyed our worship service. Come join us next week. Same time, same station. Or better yet, come visit our church right here at the Metropolitan, 4100 South King Drive. And God